Wildcat Football Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the official U of A debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org.
Welcome to a special edition of Wildcat Weekly with head volleyball coach Dave Rubio. The Wildcats off to a great start on the season, and they're home this weekend for the Wildcat Classic at McHale Center. Games on Friday and Saturday. The Wildcats will play Friday morning at 10, Friday night at 7, and then noon on Saturday. We'll get to those in a moment. But Dave, your team's coming off an outstanding trip back to Lawrence, Kansas Invitational. You won all 3 matches, did it in fine style. Tell us about the trip and obviously the victories.
Well, we owed Kansas. They had come back. They had been out here a few years earlier, and so we've been kind of waiting for the right time and the right year to return. They opened up their brand new facility with our match on Friday night, and it was a terrific trip for us. I've never been to the University of Kansas, and so it was kind of fun just for me because it's just a basketball history, and I'm a basketball fan, certainly of Arizona, but certainly of Kansas as well. I mean, there's amazing history there. But it was a really good trip for us. Anytime you go on a road with, there's a lot of uncertainties, but we found out a lot about our team, and fortunately we were able to come out with 3 wins.
So what did you find out about your team in a atmosphere like that, and how can that help your team going forward?
Well, it's the first time it's not the first time, but we played in front of a sold-out crowd with about 2,000 people, which was kind of cool, and they had their band there and a great student section, and so we were able to respond, in that kind of environment. We played well. I thought we competed well, even though we struggled at times, which is pretty normal. But our offense is starting to click. We're starting to get a little bit better feel for the offense. The players on the court, all 6 players have to have a pretty good awareness of what's going on and where the ball is being passed from and where it's going. And all the players then have to respond based off that pass. And so that's taken us a little while to kind of get that in sync. And this last weekend was the first time I actually saw us kind of consistently get there.
Our offense has really come along. We implemented a new system this season, and I think this weekend was kind of a breaking moment for us where it really came together and flowed really well. So that was working well for us, and we just competed really hard as a team.
Your roster is a nice mix of older players and younger players. How have they blended together?
We have some really good experience and good leadership. Julia Patterson and Paige Wepper, our 2 team captains, have really done a nice job of keeping the players accountable to each other, which the key is, like Mike Krzyzewski has always said, is if your best players are your best leaders, you're going to have a pretty good team. And I feel that is all the case with us as well. So the young kids are doing a nice job of following the leadership of the older players. And so, I feel like we have a good balance.
Personally, I did solid. Wasn't off the charts as much as I was last weekend, but I think I did well in terms of a leadership role and just keeping the team in check to lead us to some victories.
Life is what you make it, full of endless possibilities and opportunities at every corner. In our fast-paced world, where you bank matters. Hughes helps you with what matters most, delivering dreams, adding value to your life, for you, your family, and your future. We are local, rooted in the community you call home. Join us on the journey of life. Hughes Federal Credit Union, recognized by Forbes as one of Arizona's best credit unions 2 years in a row.
Wildcat Football Weekly continues, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union. Forbes ranked Hughes one of the best credit unions in Arizona 2 years in a row. Learn more at hughesfcu.org/best.
This weekend, the Wildcat Invitational, let's start out with that. Your first match on Friday morning at 10 a.m. What do you expect out of the opponents you'll see this weekend?
Play Alabama State, and Alabama State has been here a few times. They're a terrific, well-coached team. Maybe a little undersized and not as talented as we are, but they'll certainly put up a good fight and have a lot of respect for their coach. And I'm thankful that they're willing to come out. They're a terrific RPI game because they win their conference every single year, and they go to the tournament every single year. So it's a good team for us on that note. That evening we play New Mexico State, and New Mexico State has become a rivalry school for us because of how close they are. My brother coaches there. Mike Jordan does a terrific job. They win their conference just about year in and year out, and they always feel like they're the stepsister to us. And so They've always been really good about competing. We lost to them last year. We split with them last year at their place. So it should be a really, really good match. They're talented. They're 8-1 coming into this weekend. And then we finish off with Sacramento State. And they're a little young, but well coached. And should be a really good tournament for us.
I'm hoping that we can just play consistently and go in there and get 3 wins. That would be ideal, just to give us some confidence going into the conference season and to give us a good-looking preseason record. So.
All right, you're right around the corner from conference play getting started. So where would you like to see your team after this weekend as you get ready for Pac-12 play?
Well, the hope is that we compete well. And if we compete well, I'll be satisfied with whatever the outcome would be. But if we can continue to look a little sharper in the serve receive and the first contact, I feel like we'll put ourselves in a position to be successful and to win each particular match. If we can go into the ASU match this next following Thursday and be that much sharper than we are right now, then that would be a good place for us to be. ASU is a completely different team than they were last year. I think they're a year older. They have a lot of the players returning. They have a couple transfers that have made significant impacts in that squad. They're way more physical. It's going to be a tough match for us on the road up there.
Aren't they all in conference play?
They are. And ASU's been down. They've been up and down a little bit the last couple of years, but this year they're up. They're really good. They have some really good wins already against some very good teams. So that match is going to give me fits leading into the match, and then the match itself is going to be a really tough, hard-fought match for us.
All right, big week ahead for the Wildcat volleyball team. Don't forget the Wildcat Classic at McHale Center. Cats will be in action on Friday at 10 a.m. and 7 p.m., and then on Saturday at noon, and conference play follows the next Thursday. Our thanks to head coach Dave Rubio, and we'll see you next time on Wildcat Weekly.
Thank you for watching Wildcat Football Weekly, presented by Hughes Federal Credit Union, home of the free U of A Visa debit card. Get yours today at hughesfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.